who kept getting in trouble by his teachers because he refused to follow the rules. Well, today I want to tell you about a French composer by the name of Claude Debussy. Claude was born in 1862 in a small town right outside of Paris. His father had a china shop. His mother was a seamstress. They didn't have a lot of money, but they were okay, and not particularly musical. Around the age of 7, he began piano lessons, and quickly people realized, oh, this boy has a lot of talent. Through some strange family connections that linked them to a very wealthy Russian patron by the name of Nadezhda von Meck. Now, she was also the patron that supported Tchaikovsky. She took interest in him and started supporting him. So now, through her financial support, he's able to get more lessons and be exposed to way more music, which was very fascinating to him. He really loved that. And then as a teenager, he was traveling around with the von Meck family and was exposed to music from other parts of the world. When he was 10, he began the Paris Conservatory, where he studied for a little over a decade. Now, this is where he kept getting into trouble because the way that music was done was very specific, and there were rules that had to be followed, and Claude did not want to follow these rules. He just wanted to make music. Remember, he'd also been exposed to all this other music from other places of the world that didn't follow these rules, so to him it didn't make any sense. His teachers were irritated. He was ignoring harmony, he was ignoring counterpoint, all these things that they'd studied their whole life doing, and he was just like, whatever. He actually said, quote, "There is no theory, you have only to listen." Now, despite him not listening to these rules, in 1884, our boy Claude, he won the prestigious composition prize, Prix de Rome. We've talked about that before, which meant that he had to go to Rome and study there for 4 years, which people loved. They were so excited about it, but he actually felt very jilted. He did not enjoy that at all. There were times he was so depressed because he felt stuck, he couldn't leave, and it was supposed to be this honor, that he just didn't compose at all for long times during those years. He really disliked the conservative way, and I'm talking about the music of this institution. It was not for him. What it did do is it brought the stubborn side out of him, like, I am not going to follow this. I have my own path. I have my own way of speaking. I have my own vision for music, and this is not what I want. I'm not even going to try. In the late 1880s and 1890s, a few things happened that really influenced him. One, he started reading a lot more poetry. He was reading the symbolist poetry. That really influenced how he worked. And two, he went to the World Fair, and he was exposed to this music, Javanese gamelan music, and they use a whole different scale. They're not using what he was trained to do. Fascinated by this, and he kind of put these ideas together of the poetry that's just kind of like saying things without saying things, and then all these different tones, and he started creating his own way of making music. He started writing music that's more floating than like marching. Oftentimes he has notes that are tied at the end of one measure to the beginning of the next measure. So it's very hard to even distinguish one measure from the next at times. And that's what kind of creates this floaty, beautiful painting that we have. He is known for his piano pieces and what we call impressionistic music, but he actually hated that term. Did not like the idea of being an impressionist composer. Just like his teachers that really disliked it, there were a lot of critics the same way, and even non-critics as listeners. There were people that really did not understand what he was doing. It's very odd to us because we've grew up with his music and we've been conditioned to it, and it's so beautiful and lovely, and there's a time and place for everything, including his music. But he had a lot of pushback. He also had a lot of people that loved him, and remember, he had people that helped him financially, but it wasn't that everybody thought he was so wonderful. In 1899, he married a lady by the name of Rosalie Lily Taché. Now, this marriage was not a happy marriage. They just were not a good match, and he had a lot of affairs, but at one point, Debussy fell madly in love with another married woman. Her name was Emma, and he ended up leaving Lily for Emma. Now, Lily did not handle this very well because it was such a social and she tried to end living, which caused a huge scandal. Debussy ended up having to flee the country for a while because people were not very happy with how he treated her. In early 1902, he wrote his first and only opera. This opera was so different from any operas that we've heard up until then. There were not like super dramatic moments. There weren't like these great arias where the singer is just like pouring out of her. It really felt more like just as this conversation that was put to beautiful music. Um, it was met with the same as the rest of his music. Some people loved it and they're like, this is the new modern way to be. And some people were like, no, we are missing all the parts we love. Now, he didn't stop writing operas, but that's the only one that he completed. He loved Edgar Allan Poe and actually started working on operas based on some of his works. Sadly, a combination of illness and also a lot of self-doubt prevented these from ever being completed. I would be very interested in hearing a Debussy version of Edgar Allan Poe's works put to an opera. In his later life, he was diagnosed with cancer. He was in a lot of pain, but he was much weaker. But it didn't stop him. He continued to compose, but his works were a little bit different. He wrote a violin sonata. He wrote some pieces for cello, but eventually the cancer took over and he passed away. He died in 1918. His funeral was quiet. We were at the end of World War I. There were a lot of other things distracting people. But over time, his music has really taken hold on people. I would say about his work that he really freed harmony from this gravity. He transformed this rhythm into a more fluid emotion, and he opened the doors for new composers after him to take what he did and take it further or take it a different direction, such as Ravel or Stravinsky. He really kind of made it so that music could just be quiet. It could be whispering. It could be shimmering. It doesn't always have to be this loud in your face thing. And it still can be just as powerful in that way. Go and listen to some Claude Debussy.